Now let's move to our PowerPoint presentation, and let's see how to use the various options available in the model section of the analytics tab. So in the analytics tab of Tableau, I get a few of these models, and the most used ones among them are trend lines, forecast, and clusters. If I talk about forecasting, this is basically predicting of the future value of a measure, and there are many statistical models for forecasting. But in Tableau, we use a method of exponential smoothing. So exponential smoothing is the method we use for forecasting the values of continuous variable or the major variables in case of Tableau. So in Tableau, when we perform forecasting, first of all, this is applied on the parameters which are in measured category, means which are continuous in nature. And secondly, the method used for forecasting is exponential smoothing. So without much ado, let's move to our Tableau workbook to see forecasting in action. Over here in my Tableau workbook, if you see, you will see that I have forecasted the sales of furniture, office supplies, and technology for the next 2 years, that is 2020 and 2021, using the data available to me. So I had the data available for the sales from year 2016 to 19, and I have predicted it for 2020 and 2021. So basically, what I did over here is we used the data available for these 4 years and build up a forecasting model on it, and based on that we predicted the sales for year 2020 and 2021. So these are my forecasted value. If I have to see what's the numerical value, I can go over here and convert into table, so I can get the values corresponding to each of these with respect to year. So these were the realistic values till here. After that, these are the forecasted values which I have. If I would like to see what is the stats of this, I would right click on the value and I would go to the forecast part over here, and I could see the describe forecast. So over here I get the stats of the forecast, that the model used for forecasting is exponential smoothing, and these are the basic stats. Like these are the accuracy of each of the prediction, means the prediction corresponding to each category. I can see the accuracy looking at the RMSE values over here, or maybe the map values, and these are the smoothing coefficients. If you are unable to understand these matrices, it's fine. These matrices will be understood by someone who knows data mining or who knows supervised machine learning. But for you to understand, it's like it's just using this function you can forecast the values, and these are the basic stats related to forecast. It is telling me whether there is some seasonality or trend in the forecast or not. And the forecasting for the forecasting, the measure taken was sales, and the forecasting has been done for the next 8. We for forecasting we have used data from 2016 to 2019, quarter 1 to quarter 3, and we have ignored the last quarter, which is the quarter 4 of 19, and we have predicted the sales for the next 8 quarters, that is 2019 quarter 4 to 2021 quarter 3. So I think this is quite clear to you that this is a forecasting and the starts of the forecasting. But now let's see that how to perform this forecasting. So for that, let me remove everything and let me perform forecasting for you people from scratch. So let me remove everything. Okay. Now, first of all, let's take order date over here, and corresponding to order date, if I would like to see the profits this time instead of sales, if I would like to see the profits, I see this is the profit. Now, if I would like to see these profits corresponding to each category, I'll place the category over here. So these are the profits corresponding to each category. So from here, I can easily make out that furniture has not yielded much profit to me, but others, office supplies and technology, are the profit yielding categories for me. Now, if I would like to forecast the values, I'll go to the analytics tab. From here, I have got forecast, so I can either select forecast from here, forecasting will be done, or I can go to analysis tab, and from here also I can perform forecasting. So you can use the way you want. So I would just double click on the forecast over here. So you will see that some forecastings have been done for me. Now, if I would like to drill down from year to say quarters, I can see the forecastings. Now, since the year field over here is discrete, so I see these forecasting in pieces for each year. But if I would like to see it in a continuous manner, I can do that. I'll go to this field. And if you guys remember, we had discussed in previous videos that in a table field can be both discrete and continuous. So when you select any of these five options in the above segment, this one, then it acts as a discrete. And if you select any value from here, the date field becomes continuous. So let me select year from here to make this field continuous. So now the date field has become continuous, and now we can see the predictions in a much better way. You must be you must be worried that why am I getting this gap over here? So I'll fill up this gap as well. But before that, let's see that what are the forecasting is done and can we change the forecastings. So by default over here, forecasting has been done for the next, I think by default for next 1 year only. That is till 2020 only. And if I would like to see the forecasting values, I can either hover over here. So for 19, I'm getting this forecast. For 20, I'm getting this forecast for each of the category. If I would like to see the value, I can over here I can convert into text table, so I can get the values corresponding to each. So these are the this section shows me the actual value, and this section shows me the forecasted values. Now let me convert it back to the graph form. Now, if I would like to check the forecasting details corresponding to each, I can go over here in the drop down. Sorry, not over here. I'll go over here on the forecast. I'll right click on this forecast. I'll go to the forecast option, and I would like to from the forecast I would like to go to the forecast option. So when I go to the forecast option over here, I get an option to decide the forecasting level. So by default, automatically it has forecasted the profit of each category for me for the next 5 quarters. Means it had data till the fourth quarter of 2019, and from that onwards, from there onwards, it has forecasted the sales for me for 2020 till quarter four. Now, if I would like to say that no, instead of forecasting it for the next 5 quarters, please forecast it for me for the next 2 years. So for that, what I'll do, I'll say exactly forecast it for the next 2 years. So when I do this, you can see that the moment I change this, correspondingly, the values over here are changing. So next, I would like to say that ignore the last 1 quarter for me. I would like it to ignore the quarter four of 2019 for me. And this is the p value. If you guys are not aware of p value, it's fine. Basically, in statistics, if you want a prediction to be significant, you should have the p value, or if you should have the significant prediction intervals to be 95%, which means that the p value should be less than equal to 0.05. So this is correct value over here. Now this data is telling me that currently they are using the data from 2016, from the year 2016 quarter 1 to year 2019 quarter 3. They are using this data set as the source data set, and using this data set they are predicting or forecasting the value for the next 2 years, that is 2020 and 2021. And they are also looking for seasonal patterns in every 4 quarters. So at the source, we were aggregating it by quarters. If I would like to aggregate the data by some other means, by years or quarters, I can do that. So I would like it to be quarters only. Now let me press OK. So you will see that now the predictions which were made, now they have been extended a bit. Now I can see the predictions for 2020 and 21 both. Now if I, instead of years, I would like to see it by quarters, I'll click over here. Now I can see the predictions corresponding to quarters. You can see this arrow over here. This arrow sign indicates that this pill uh, is being used for forecasting. So the forecasting I am applying, this is being applied on this pill. This is what it is telling. Now when I drill it down further from quarter to say monthly level, the predictions will also be converted up to the monthly levels. So in this way, you can perform predictions. But now if I would like to see stats corresponding to a prediction, I'll right click on a particular stat over here, and I'll go to the forecast and I'll see the describe forecast. So the describe forecast basically tells you the stats of the forecast, that whether like what is the model you have used for forecasting, which is telling that the Tableau has used exponential smoothing method for forecasting, and for corresponding to each category, has there been any seasonality? So it's saying that the seasonality is not there in the forecasting for technology, office supplies, and furniture. These three categories, the forecast didn't have any seasonality. but in terms of trend they had this additive trend, and in terms of level they were all additive. And in terms of accuracy, if I see, the map value is 105, so the predictions for technology can be considered to be highly accurate, whereas in terms of office supplies the forecast seems to be less accurate, that is around 60%. In case of furniture the forecasting is quite accurate, that is around 119%. So over here, if the map gives you any value more than 80% or 70%, it's considered to be a good model. So over here, I can observe that the forecasting for technology and furniture categories is quite good using my exponential smoothing method over here. And in terms of summary of forecasting, if I see the time series data I have used is the month order. Like over here, the date field I'm using is of the month field, and the measure I've used is the profit one. And the forecast forward, if you see, I have forecasted the data for the 24 months, since I had forecasted it for 2 years, and I had bifurcated the data up to monthly level. So it is saying me that it has forecasted the profit of all the categories for me for the next 2 years, that is 24 months. And the data it had taken up as an input to build up the model of forecast was the data ranging from January 16 to November 19, and it has ignored the last 1 month data for me. If I want the see, by default the last 1 month data at the source is ignored in forecasting, but if you want you can include that data as well. And is there any seasonality in the forecasting? So it is saying that there is no seasonality being identified. Now these are the stats corresponding to each prediction done. That was pretty much about the stats of forecast. This is how the forecasting looks. Now if we want to remove this difference, what we can do is, first of all let me convert it back to the year level. Okay, it is year level. Now I would right click on any of the forecast. I'll go to the forecast options. Now if you remember in the when we were selecting the options for forecasting, we had told that it can ignore the last 1 month at the source data, that is the data of profit which we have of the last 4 years, that is 2016 January to 2019 December. It has by default used only the data till 2019 November. So I'm saying it, don't ignore the last 1 month. So I'm giving it a zero value. So you will see the moment I'll do this and I'll do OK, you will see the difference between the two has got reduced. Now when I do OK and I go forward and drill down the data till monthly level, you will see that the values are quite near from December to December 19 to January 20, since there is a change in the year. That's why this gap is coming. Rest we have almost forecasted the we have shown this data in a very continuous way, and we have done the exact forecasting, continuous forecasting for the next 2 years. So I hope forecasting is clear to you. Now let's go to the next option available to us in the models of analytics tab.